Hello, Leo friends. I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Leo December 2024 Astrology Horoscope Forecast. December 2024 is a time filled with radical revelations for Leo, where deep insights and transformative revelations are paving the way for profound shifts in your personal life, in your outer world. The cosmos are definitely aligning for some major positive change right now. I'm going to go into all the details. This is for you if Leo is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Leo placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Leo friend, so birthdays like August 15th through the rest of the sign, or Leo degrees around 23 degrees through the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Virgo report, as you very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. Podcast listeners, I will put the chart that I'm working on as the thumbnail in case you want to take a peek. We've got a heavy concentration of things to discuss in the bottom right quadrant, but I will be jumping over to different parts of the chart to discuss important things as well. In the first set of things that you might see radically revealed, they're going to be in the topic and the subject matters ruled by Sagittarius. The sun is there. We've got this is the second month, 2 months in a row where we've had very strong Sagittarius energy. Sag planets started transiting earlier in November than usual, so we're having 2 solid months of this fire energy, and this is great news for fire signs, including Leo. So the sun bringing warmth and vibrance, Mercury bringing information and communication, and in retrograde bringing retrospective focus and things from the past. The new moon on December 1st bringing new beginnings and new opportunities to ignite all of the energies of Sag and all of the energies of Leo, because all of the Sag energy activates Leo's 5th house, which is ruled by Leo. So anything having to do with Leo or Sagittarian energies of rulership are going to be the domains of potential radical revelations. So learning, making a discovery about a learning style or a topic of learning, teaching, making a discovery about a plan or a process that you have to bring information that you have out to other people. This could have something to do with different cultures or different languages. You may have revelations having to do with international connections or business or different cultures. There may be some revelations about top of the mountain discoveries. So Sagittarius is known for its broad thinking and its wide viewpoint, like that of a bird. Maybe my bird looks a little bit more like a pterodactyl, but you get the point. This wide, broad view that broadens horizons and gives you solutions, and joins in the most perfect angle in all of astrology, the trine to your placement. So this is a sizzling time of vibrance, of creative expression, of romance, the children's sector is activated, your passions and your purpose and your bucket list and your hobbies and your pleasures. Revelations in any of those areas are very possible. Discoveries about things involving children or having children. Discoveries involving a hidden talent that you have that's being brought out now. All of these are fresh for these radical revelations. And you can use the energy of all of these placements, but particularly the wishing power of the new moon in the days around the 1st of December to wish these things into process. If you wish to have a revelation about a hidden talent, if you wish to have an expansion of your joy and your pleasure, if you wish to have, to learn a different language, wishing during about any of these topics will have extra power. And so you say your wishes out loud, you write them down, and you feel them as if they've already come true, giving your particular activating system a job to make them come true and to let down the filters between you and anything that will help you reach those goals. The polarity of the 5th house and the 11th house, so the Leo Aquarius energy and the Sagittarius Gemini energy, is very strongly aspected at this time. On December 15th, we've got a full moon in Gemini. Actually, before we move on from there, I want to give you the degree information. So the new moon on December 1st is at 9 degrees of Sagittarius. So all of you can get the goodies from that. But those of you at the end of July, like around, we'll say July 26th to around August 6th, and the closer to, the very end of the month and the very beginning of the month, like July 30th, 31st, August 1st, etc., the more you may notice this kiss from this new moon and the more power it may hold. But if you're not in that spectrum, don't worry. Everyone in the zodiac, especially our fire signs, have this extra power of this new moon at this time. Okay, so then the full moon on the days around December 15th, fullness, completion, fruition, drama, coming to a full elucidation, shedding light on your energies of Gemini, communication, mobility, friends, social circles, neighbors, relatives other than your parents or children, aunts, uncles, cousins, etc. There may be radical revelations about 11th house Aquarius things, hidden truths about your social circles. You may discover really who is truly supportive and really who you are aligned with at this time. You also might really gain radical clarity on your long-term dreams, although because we're in double retrograde with Mercury and Mars retrograde, the tides are coming in. So this isn't a time to try to launch your big dreams, but you can take actionable steps, especially in the inner realms and steps closer to you that will eventually build out to those big dreams. And your social circles and your networks may have something important to do with it, but something important may come out, light may be shed on your friendships, your groups, your big key dreams in your life. You may have clarity, you may have closure. The illumination here is definitely going to help you make powerful adjustments within your friendships and your social structures, including your relationship with social media. Anytime there's something going on here in the 11th house, put out there the possibility of a digital detox or just sort of, reassessing the energy of the internet and social connections. Also, besides the full moon being there, that's at 24 degrees, we still have Gemini moving there from May 2024 to June 2025. And that's very strongly highlighting and working to expand these social networks. But sometimes, and especially when we have Mercury retrograde, Mars retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, it's a time to take some steps back within that expansion so that you can go further in the future from really reevaluating, reassessing, and strengthening those foundations. Now, everyone can get the goodies from this full moon. The air energy is really good for fire, but those of you who are between 19 degrees and 29 degrees, closest to 24 degrees, will get probably the biggest notable outcomes or the most obvious ones. And this is going to be like July 13th through July 23rd and the closer to around July 18th. This could vary by a few days in either direction because the sun doesn't move into each sign on the same day each year. So there's a variability of a few day range with this spectrum. But, the closer you are to that, the more you may see these goodies. But remember, all of the goodies are available to everyone as well. With Mercury retrograde, Mars retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, this energy of reevaluating, reassessing, reflecting, refining is really in order. And in the areas of most important congestion in the chart or most important focus or highlight at this time, those are areas to use this refining process. So you can really reflect on which friendships and connections are truly nurturing your growth and coaxing the best out of you. And maybe consider taking a step away from, maybe not making final decisions about, because again, with the retrograde, it's a little hard to make some final decisions, but experimenting with taking a step away from people who you may think are toxic for you, and then see, do you feel better? Do you have more energy? Do you have more vitality? You don't have to make a big, loud statement about it. You can have a quiet experiment or just be busy for a little while to just kind of get your bearings straight and see how different energetics around you are affecting you. So you may have a lot of radical revelations in those arenas. Okay, so the next area is actually, we're following the moons as my template here. So we have 3 moons this month, making the second new moon on the days around December 30th a black moon for those who are in the Eastern time zone and East, because those who are more west of there, the earlier time zones, you all are having your new moon in Sag on November 30th. So a black moon definition is the second black moon or the second new moon in a zodiac sign or a calendar month. So a black moon simply means you can go deeper with your seed planting. The days around the 30th of December, new moon Capricorn, And not only do we have a new moon in Capricorn, we also have the sun. The sun will get there around December 22nd. We've got Pallas Athena already there, Venus, Ceres. Very, very strong showing of Capricorn energy. Now, while this doesn't flow as seamlessly and beautifully and, kind of sparkly as these fire and air placements do for Leo, they can definitely bring all kinds of radical revelations about Capricorn related things, which relate to your 10th house and are ruled by Saturn, which has to do with business and advancements. You can have, some revelations about your career or, the kinds of things you want to usher in more of in the future. You can have revelations about father figures or yourself as a father or parent figure. Revelations about authority figures, aha moments about anything having to do with business or your public life or your employments or your outer world. Because all of this energy for Capricorn is crowding your 6th house of Virgo, the energy of Virgo in the 6th house is just as pronounced as that Capricorn 10th house energy from these transits. So you're going to have a lot of focus with this new moon and all of these other Capricorn transits on your daily routines, your health, your work habits, your pets, pushing you, coaxing you, inviting you, giving you revelations around how to create structure in your life, structure and stability. Virgo is an earth sign, that's the house. Capricorn is an earth sign, that's the sign. So you've got double earth energy here, really coaxing you to build. And any place where you've been lacking structure or discipline, you have this wonderful opportunity to have a reset and to give you better balance and to work more efficiently. Very big tip for manifestation of wealth, meaning a wealth of time, a wealth of creative expression, a wealth of, money, is to make the shift from linear thinking into non-linear thinking. Now, this is not an easy task, and I would have to do a massive amount of videos on this topic to try to do it justice. But linear means you work, things are going in a chronological order. You work, you make money. You work more, you make more money. You work even more, you make more money. You work harder, you make more money. Those are linear, logical pursuits. And that works. That can work. What can also work is that you work less and you make more. You work smarter instead of harder, and you make more. And these things are available to you when you crack the code within your mind of linear versus nonlinear thinking. So you can have radical revelations about this type of thinking. Are you in this construct of time stuck there? I mean, we have to, in order to play the earth game in the third dimension, we have to at least understand this and be able to play here, right? And meet in the third dimension. If we're going to meet someone at a coffee shop, we have to meet in the third dimension, at a certain time. But from a nonlinear standpoint, there is a massive amount of brain power that is behind in your subconscious mind that can change this for you. So just look out for radical revelations with your efficiency with work. Venus is here to help. Ceres is here to help with sustainability in your projects. Pallas Athena is here to help with strategy. And, the new moon is here for new beginnings. So some action steps you can take to facilitate these revelations are to set goals around your health and wellness. Decreasing of stress. Stress is a killer of humans. It's a creator of inflammation. And it is, the enemy. So looking for ways that you can decrease your stress is going to be wonderful. And you may have revelations about how to reorganize your daily schedule, which is going to optimize productivity and create a healthier balance between work and personal life. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the dates for the retrogrades and bring in some. I've already kind of brought in some of the pieces of retrograde, but we'll bring in more here. Mercury goes retrograde. Retrograde is when a planet looks like it's going backwards in the sky, but it really isn't. But it affects us on Earth. Our perception of it affects us on Earth, and it affects us. And things start to go backwards and inward in a retrograde time. So Mercury started a shadow period November 8th, official retrograde November 25th, stays retrograde until December 14th, and it takes until January 3rd to regain its full forward motion and full power. Mars has a longer transit, so it has longer shadow periods and a longer retrograde. Its shadow period began October 7th. It started to go retrograde today, or not today, this month, December 6th. The long-awaited, much talked about official day of retrograde will stay retrograded until February 24th of 2025, and it'll take all the way until May for it to get full power again. But at the time that Mercury or Mars goes direct, you will feel a shift, a clarity, an opening, something happening, changing. But, it takes a little while to get out of the muck or to get back up to speed. Kind of like when you stop to make a U-turn. The pre-shadow period is you slowing down to get into the next lane, to come to a stop, and the awkwardness of that. The retrograde is you stalled out in the middle of the road waiting for a free chance to go turn around the other way. So while you're just kind of stalled out waiting for traffic to clear up. And then the post-transit is like when you've gotten back in traffic, but you're still going slower than the other vehicles. You're awkward and feel unsafe and trying to get back up to speed. And that's the post-transit. So there's a cycle, there's a rhythm here. In general, having a retrograde time, it's a little bit difficult to plan, especially with Mercury retrograde. It's more favored for looking backwards than looking forwards. So trying to deal with long-term plans or long-term problems or long-term solutions may be challenging. But looking for short-term interim bridge agreements or plans is really brilliant and a great way to use the energy. If you have to make, negotiations, or if you have to make agreements, adding flexibility is going to be really, really wise, because you can't see everything that you need to see to make the decisions that you might be called to make now. When the tides are coming in, it's a time to stand on the shore and wait to see what the tides bring to you, not try to force something out against the waves. So you can do short-term experimental things, and then they bop right back to you. The results will bop right back to you. But it's not the best time to launch your biggest dreams, your biggest projects, your final decisions. This is a time to experiment, to try things on, to get your toes in and kind of feel your way through. It's more of an internal process than an external one. Now, that being said, the Sagittarius energies are very gregarious, so there is this external component, but it has a kick to the past. Okay, so past ideas for this Mercury retrograde in the Leo house, past creative ideas, people who you collaborated with before, things that, lovers from the past, anything, fun things that you did in the past. If you're trying to spark your relationship now, you may go back to things you used to do that used to work, that used to be fun. Mars in retrograde is a big topic. If you search for Annie Botticelli Mars retrograde, you will find various things, lots of things I put together. On my YouTube channel, I have a shorts playlist. I also have separate longer videos. I have blogs. If you look for Annie Botticelli Maximizing Personal Planet Retrogrades, that is a really great way to understand what it is that's good to do now and what it is to avoid. I also talk about this at length in my book, Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe. So I'm not going to go a ton into that. I want to make some of this more personalized here for Leo, but I'll give you some basic understandings. Mars is your energy levels, your stamina, your oomph, your inspiration. And when Mars is in retrograde, things tend to switch. So if you had been going full bore, fire-like, as you may be, you may lose steam, you may lose stamina. Projects that you were hot on may fade. And if you were avoiding or not interested in certain things, those might spark up like crazy. So you might become super uninterested in a whole bunch of stuff and then become super hyper-focused on certain things and then get hot on that. And the two areas of life that are more likely for you to get hot on are the Leo subjects. And this is, your sign here, so this is a big deal. And that's all the fifth house stuff, the romance, the children, the creativity. So you may get very gung-ho in your creative projects, especially picking up things from the past or collaborating with people from the past. You may also get gung-ho on Aries-related things, because this is your first house of Aries that's being aspected. Your identity, your physical body, how you use your energy, all of that may really kick up very strongly. And you may have radical revelations. So this is basically a time for this deep introspection. And it will force you to examine how you assert yourself in the world. Circumstances may force you to do it, or you may proactively do it because I'm telling you that it's good for that. But either way, the revelations may be involved, or may involve the discovery of old ways of expressing your power or pursuing your goals may not be effective anymore. Or you may go back to something that was very effective or try it on. So all of this has to do with opportunities. It's an opportunity to recalibrate. It's an opportunity to find new or more authentic ways to basically stand in your personal power. And that's what this first house is about. You may have to move backwards a little bit through rest or research. A lot of things beginning with RE are the retrograde things. And, you might have to look into your health topics. Your 6th house is a health house. Your 1st house is a health house. So this, you may have to do some investigating or some resting or some regeneration at this time. Okay, I've given you a lot of dates, and I'm going to give you 2 more. The diciest aspect of the month and my most happy, exciting aspect of the month. Well, it's not my aspect, but the one that I'm most excited about. So I'm going to give you those, but I just want to also remind you that if you're a person that likes the dates and wants to know my sweet and salty list and wants a write-up to have a visual reference for very important points about each month, 1 month early, go to AnnieHelpsYou.com. Put your name and email address in, click receive. You'll get lots of free goodies, including early access to my public horoscopes, and sometimes early access to some of my other content if I make it, and all kinds of other free goodies. But when you get the welcome letter, if you click on the archive link and you put in the search button, December 2024 astrology, you will find my sweet and salty list write-up of all of the dates, my favorite dates of the month, the ones to be most concerned about. But I will give you 2 more here. And even the one that is, kind of the biggest pressure point, I want to talk about a couple of ways you can make lemonade out of that one. Okay, so the biggest pressure point of the month is Saturn and Jupiter squaring. Jupiter square Saturn. Jupiter represents all that Sagittarius energy that we were talking about. Kind of strange that this month is very much, dominated by Sagittarius and Capricorn energy. And here in this square, it is putting Sagittarius ruler Jupiter and Capricorn ruler Saturn at odds with each other in this powerfully transformational, revelation revealing angle of the square. It's a pressure point, but it cracks you out of an old matrix, an old way of being. And that's what doing life consciously is about. If you're trying to get to your best self, you have to molt and you have to crack out of each matrix as you get past it. And so we'll have a lot of opportunity at this time, because the outer planets, when they move into any configuration, they're there for a long time because they're slow moving. So this happened in August and September very strongly. Then it ducked a little bit more into the backdrop. Now it's here very strongly. December 24th is exact, but all month you'll be feeling it because there will only be a couple of degrees away all month. So the expansion versus restriction, the excess versus discipline, the optimist versus the realist, the supporter versus the naysayer, the, maybe haphazard versus the structured. All of these are at odds and wanting to find balance. So you can let Jupiter expand some of the places where you're restricted. And you can let Saturn give definition and discernment and streamlining to some of the places where you've been in excess. And that's how you can make lemonade out of these. Okay, that's supposed to be 11. Okay, so the last date of the month, that is, I want to leave off on this super positive note, is when Venus moves on from Capricorn. It will get into Aquarius, and then it will trine this same Jupiter, okay? So in the days around the 19th, if you have to take one of these small but important action steps, not trying to launch anything big, but it could be a promo, it could be trying something on, it could be an experiment, it could just be, doing something fun. The days around the 19th have this beautiful blessing of Venus ruling love, beauty, but money, confidence, with Jupiter, the great expander. And because of the energy of the retrogrades, it may bring you blessings from the past. Venus will be in the house of relationships for Leo, and Jupiter is in the house of your social world. So, this could very much have to do with, let's say someone is trying to introduce you to someone or reintroduce you to someone. like you met them before at an office party and someone's saying, hey, I want to have you see this person again. And there could be major sparks, so anything that you're going back to could feed into relationships, could feed into networks, could feed into friendships. And you could, if you are intuitively inclined and there's nothing feeling off about it, there could be some magic that happens at that time, especially given the fact that your romantic sector is very, very full. Okay, so if you have resonated with my work, then please click like and subscribe and click the bell. I've heard that if you don't click the bell, my posts won't go into your feed, but that's what you can do to help YouTube know that you resonate with my work. And you can also enable notifications, and all of those things will help guarantee that you won't miss anything from me. If you love the dates, sweet and salty dates, things to be awareful and careful of, the awesome aspects, definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address, and click receive to get my very informative weekly newsletter. You get so many free things. Most of my work in the world is free. You get even more free stuff as a member of my free VIP community, which is what you become when you put your name and email address in there. When you click receive, you will get the welcome letter delivered into your inbox. It could be in spam. You'll have to move it into your inbox. Click on the archive link there and then put in the search December 2024 astrology. And that's where you will find the sweet and salty dates. I always email that out a month early to my VIP friends so that you can prepare and know the dates ahead of time and know what you're getting yourself into. And if you're a visual learner, you could see all the dates there and have everything in a written format. So at anniehelpsyou.com, you can unleash by joining my free VIP community. You can upgrade by accessing my secret star portal. This gets the earliest possible access to all of my work. You do get the horoscopes and other posts early in my free VIP community too, and then you get them extra early in the secret star portal. You also get written horoscopes monthly for each sign and so much more when you upgrade there. And if you want to learn astrology, then you can click on up level and see my options. You can start with the basics, or you can dive deep into my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Certification course. If you think I put a lot into my free work, you should see what I put into this course. It has well over 100 modules and growing, and it can take you from beginner to earning money in a very short amount of time if you apply what I teach you that way. And for people who have already been well versed with astrology, if you can't seem to tie it all together because you know so much and you don't know where to go in the chart to give a concise, effective reading every time, that is my specialty. Plus, if you're trying to monetize your love of astrology, that is my area of expertise. So you can click on up level when you're there at anniehelpsyou.com. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.